John Danzig, I'm a journalist. How are we going to raise the level of debate in this country, which is quite frankly appalling? It's very vitriolic, it's very emotional. In America 150 years ago, they had to resolve similar differences through a civil war, which we don't want in Europe. We're only going to resolve this, hopefully, through evolution, but that will come about by good debates that we've got here. But we haven't seen that across the country. We can't even agree on some of the basic facts. UKIP claim 85% of our laws originate in Brussels. The House of Commons Library say it's only about 10%. We've got to get the facts right before we can debate them properly.
The question was putting forward by the civil wars. We have got those civil wars already a long time ago, more than 1,000 years of civil wars on the European continent. But the big difference is that the US started as a confederation. Then they have made a federal state in 1785, that was Philadelphia. Then they have created, as the Hamilton moment, the finances of this federation by creating treasury certificates. Then they have created a common treasury. And only after that, they did the Coinage Act, which was the basis for the introduction of the dollar. What we have done in Europe, on the continent, is quite the opposite. We were far more intelligent than the Americans. We start with the currency, and then we say, oh shit, we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't have an economic union, a banking union, fiscal union, political union. What is absolutely needed to do that? So if we have to make a comparison with America, I should not take the civil wars because we got them already for more than 1,000 years in Europe, but these rational steps that the Americans did when they have integrated their continent.
Right. Apologies if anybody was offended by the language.
Well, of course, he didn't really answer.
You don't use that word?
I don't, no.
About debate on Europe and inverted commas, facts. I mean, you're dealing in politics here. Different politicians will use different facts to suit themselves. I saw a UKIP leaflet that was put out for the local elections, which informed me that on the 1st of January next year, 26 million Bulgarians and Romanians were going to arrive in the UK. That's clearly not true. But when you go on to the issue of what percentage of our laws are dictated by Brussels, well, it depends how you define percentage. It depends how is one statutory instrument of one line long the same as a large act of parliament? Are you looking at lines of legislation, quantities of acts, quantities of directives? You get a different answer depending on what measure you use. The Bundestag has done a study on it, the House of Commons Library have done studies on it, and you get different answers from both of them. The Norwegians, I think, have also done a third study. It really is an open-ended question. With regard to the level of debate, I think there is actually a lot of debate on Europe in the UK. All the Sunday newspapers and the daily newspapers are
There's
full
a lot of debate. I think the gentleman acknowledged that, but there's an awful lot of non-fact.
And I can tell you, when it comes to a referendum, there'll be huge campaigns on both sides, and there'll be an awful lot of heat, probably not much light, but there will be an awful lot of information, an awful lot of, inverted commas, facts thrown at people. But, this is politics. You believe what you choose to believe.
Yes, but it would be nice if it actually started with facts. The gentleman with the glasses there.
What is a fact? What isn't a fact?
Well, I think that's pretty... This is a hand. It has 5 fingers.
Can I just say one very quickly about referendums?
Very quickly.
Not in politics.
Yes.
Very quickly. I mean, there's plenty of evidence across Europe that when there have been referendums on European issues, you see a step change in public understanding of the EU.
Yes, actually, you made a very good point, and can you make that very briefly, if you wouldn't mind, Simon, because Emma has to leave. But in an article, you made a very good point about comparing another country, Denmark, who joined in the same year, and actually, thanks to numerous referendums, it has helped the population, I believe, engage.
Not just Denmark, Ireland, you probably know the same from the experience in France, of the referendums in France.
Yeah.
Referendums force the public, force the politicians, force the media to engage and address all these issues directly with the public and with the constituents. And there's public information campaigns. This is why I think it's important we have a referendum, so that we will have a step change in public understanding and public debate about the role of Britain in Europe.
Thank you very much for making that point. Right, I'm going straight to Philip now. Can you...
If there was a referendum today, would you vote in or out?
He's asking me about a question that's not going to happen. If a referendum is called, I'll consider my options.
It's a very simple question. It's a referendum today, in or out? I know how I would vote. Probably most people here know how they would vote.
The question how I want to answer it.
Okay, fair enough.